Welcome to Big Humandead. I'm Buddy Black.
Woo! You're welcome.
Let's do that again,
Okay.
just in case somebody.
Just in case somebody's
This is somebody's
seizing on the
first,
floor now.
first time. Yeah, in case someone's driving.
Okay. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Big Humandead. I am your co-host, Buddy Black, aka Neil McKay, and with me, as always, is my co-host. Am I the co-host and you're my co-host? I don't understand.
Yeah,
how this
I think
works.
that would be it. Yeah,
Really.
maybe.
That would make you like
I'm the co-host and you're my co-host.
That would only make you a quarter host, if that would be the case.
If you're the co-host,
I'm the
and
co-host.
I'm
and
your
you're
co-host.
my co-host.
Maybe it's the co-host. I'm here with the co-host.
I
I'm
don't
the
understand
co-host,
what's
and I'm
going
here
on.
with the other co-host.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, this is Rob Ayers.
Hello.
my good friend from Vienna, Austria.
Mhm.
Rob and I met a couple years ago. Anyways,
Yeah.
we did a little bit of work together, and then earlier this year we got together and collaborated on a comic book based on one of my records. I wrote a full script for it, and
Yeah.
Rob provided the pretty pictures.
The story on the road to Waterloo.
Correct.
If you're itching to know what it's all about, then you can go to buddyblack@bandcamp.com.edu
I don't know.
backslash.
I don't believe that's it, and I don't think
No?
I don't know if there's any information on there
Oh, okay.
about that.
But it's a
that's
kick-ass album.
It's the record.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But you're not going to find the comic book there, but you'll find the album there.
Yeah, find the
And
album
then
there.
you get a vague notion of what
Yeah.
I've been scribbling
Just-
on pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I think that'll be nice. We'll talk about it a little bit later.
Totally.
But I wanted to bring something up with you. So
Mhm.
I was reading about segways
Okay.
the other day, which got me thinking about horror directors sort of in general.
Fair enough.
And
These things are horrifying little people movers. Do you have a lot of them?
no,
running around,
I wasn't thinking of
zipping around
segways
Toronto?
as in the vehicle. I was thinking of segways as I didn't
Oh,
know. I
as
didn't know
a-
how to. I didn't know how
as
to
a-
segue.
It's a conversational transition
Yeah,
piece.
yeah. I didn't know how to do
Okay.
it. Yeah, I didn't know how to just jump onto this one. But yeah, I've
Right on.
ridden a Segway before, and they're
Really?
amazing. Oh, they're so much fun.
Really?
Oh,
I
they're
can't
so-
imagine. There's usually a small troop of them zipping around Vienna at any
Yeah.
given time when the sun is up. It's these. There's some
You-
group that does like a tourist thing.
Oh, yeah.
A city
Yeah.
tour.
Europeans love Segways.
Yeah.
Europeans love Segways.
True.
And B, like you can see the sights,
Mhm.
but segwaying between the sights,
Yeah.
that's the best. That's the
Really?
best. Yeah. Oh, it's so much
I
fun.
always have to dodge between them on my bike, and it's harrowing whenever
Oh.
I see them coming up.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of which, I
Yes.
was thinking about
Nice,
I was-
smooth,
smooth.
Yes, seamless, one might say.
I was thinking about horror directors and
Okay.
Horror directors that had done sort of some quote unquote kind of like mainstream movies
Okay.
or not horror movies anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And but also thinking of sort of like the vice versa
Okay.
on that. And
I've thought about this quite a bit, actually.
yeah.
Like
It's almost like we agreed to
yeah.
it's almost like
Oh.
it's something we had talked about before and we had sort of agreed to do it
A little bit. It's
on
yeah.
our podcast.
It's true.
It's a little bit like that.
It's a little. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Anyways, I think what I'd like to talk about, and this is something that this is a conversation that we actually haven't had so hard, but it was
Right.
like who did it best.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of like Coppola does Dracula.
Okay.
You know what I mean, and like Friedkin does The Exorcist.
Right.
Mhm. like which
Yeah,
one
right
of
on.
those guys? Which one of those like not exclusively
Yeah.
horror directors do a
Right on.
movie and like which one did it best, and then after a bit of a break, we can talk about the other way around. Like
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, there's a few names that popped up when I was thinking about this, and honestly, I have thought about this periodically. Whenever I see a good horror movie, and I don't recognize the director's name, I like to check it out, and then I'm usually surprised by like, oh, that guy directed an animated short, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
We'll find out the brass tacks of
We'll do
who's
it.
who and what's what.
We'll get down to it. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
The first one that came to my mind, and it's because it's one of my favorite movies. I think it's a flawless film. Is Jonathan Demme's Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah.
Like Jonathan Demme, he did others. He did what was his first movie? Caged Heat.
Okay.
Exploitation, Women Behind Bars for Roger Corman, I think. And later on he did like the Manchurian Candidate remake, which was pretty tight.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even see it because no, seriously, because Manchurian Candidate original is in like my top 10 movies ever made.
Fair enough.
My top 10 favorite movies. Like
it's an incredible movie.
Is incredible. Yeah.
The remake is
really good. Yeah.
The remake is really tight. It doesn't. It's the same story, but I didn't feel like it was trying to replace the first one by any means because they updated everything completely, and so it's not like harkening back like, oh, we changed this to fit this and fit that. It's really just, it's almost like it's just a similar story that could have happened before or later. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, and Meryl Streep does a really good job in Angela Lansbury's role, but like even though Meryl Streep, she's amazing, she can do anything. Angela Lansbury rocked that role so hard. I've never seen her do.
Yeah, Angela Lansbury was an incredible actress.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate that she's almost really only famous for Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote. Yeah.
I mean, if you watch that show objectively, it's actually a pretty bitchin' like mystery show. Like it's really good.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah,
and
one movie that my dad always showed to me, like a movie that my dad and I would watch all the time, was The Court Jester with Danny Kaye, and Angela Lansbury's in that, and she is smoking. She is smoking hot. She's Angela Lansbury, was a dame.
Yeah,
if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
fair enough.
But she was a great actress. She was a really great actress. Yeah.
Yeah. So first on my list is Jonathan Demme's Silence of the Lambs, because I think that movie, it's like I said, it's, in my opinion, it's a flawless movie, and he pulls it off perfectly. Every story beat, every turn, every little thing that needs to be creepy or stressful, it's right on, and it's still in his style. Like he does Neil Young documentaries, but he's still like he took the Silence of the Lambs script, did it the way he does everything, and it's still a perfect horror movie. And so that was mine. Should we just trade blows, or should we?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I love The Exorcist. I really, really think that's a fantastic movie.
Totally.
The only criticism I have on The Exorcist is that I really wish that it were longer. Like fair
enough.
It's like, especially in the book, they kind of go back and forth between the detective trying to solve the murder, and
he has a much bigger role,
a huge role in the book. And
the relationship between him and Damien and the priests, it's a really good relationship. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's like there's there are two investigations going on at the same time, and one's the the criminal investigation, and then the other's the I don't know, like the church's investigation. On what's going on. It's a really, really great book.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the risk of sounding boring, like I think that Exorcist is one of the single greatest films ever made, and
Right on.
I, people are going to be watching that movie for 50 years.
Yeah,
Like it's still going to freak people out.
totally.
They still do an awesome job telling the story. Like it's it's just a phenomenal movie.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. So I guess like who do you think did it the worst? Well, not like in your opinion, like which one of the which one of the ones is not for you. I mean, I'll tell you straight up,
Mm-hmm.
like right now,
Yeah.
and I know we've had this argument before. I don't know what was going on with Red State.
He's your boy.
Like I know
Oh,
he's my boy. I know he's my boy, and I love me some Kevin Smith, or I used to, anyways. I gotta say, like when I was in high school, like it was just all Kevin Smith all the time. I must have seen I've probably seen Mallrats probably 400 times. Like no exaggeration. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with Red State.
I liked it.
Yeah, that's good argument. But let me counter it with I don't know. I just feel like there needed to be, I don't know, either a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like there just needed to be like maybe one more subplot, or like a few more stakes.
Yeah.
Or there just needed to be less. Like there just needed to be less sort of like heavy-handed,
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
I feel completely the opposite. I feel like he told and filmed and shot just enough. Like I feel like the movie, it's any more, and I felt like it would have had it would have been a really great cookie with little bits of shit falling off of it, or like when you have a perfect cookie, you don't need to put walnuts on top of it as well. It's not going to make anything better. And I feel like that's kind of what it would have been. If it would have been less, then I would be asking, where's my walnuts?
Yeah.
And for me, like it was super cool. It was really, I thought it was fresh, and yeah, I dug it.
I really, really respect the fact that he stepped so far outside of his comfort zone to do that. Like I really, really respect that. I thought it was like, again, like super, I don't know, just I'm hesitant to call, Kevin Smith an auteur filmmaker, but, he has a style. He has, he's kind of guilty of sort of rehashing the same thing kind of over and over and over again, and somehow managing to make it work for himself and his, diehard fans and all of that. But no, it just didn't. It was just kind of, you know what I think it was is that when it first started out, it kind of looked like it was sort of like it was going to be shot, almost like kind of it kind of had a mockumentary vibe to it a little bit, and I think that I don't know. I think as I was going through the movie, that sort of like, I don't know, that faded. I don't know. I'm not really explaining myself all that well. I just didn't. It just didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was pretty tight. I'm hard pressed to think of directors who stepped into the horror playground and took a misstep. Like I don't know, when I was thinking about all these movies and stuff, all I could think of was the little shiner examples, like Daniel Boyd did 28 Days Later. I mean, every movie of his, Danny Boyd. Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
Danny Boyd.
Danny Boyd.
He made Chillers, and
he made Chillers,
knocked it out of the park, and just he didn't need to transition to other genres because he made Chillers, and Chillers is fucking badass.
It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Danny Boyle, the other Danny.
Yeah.
He
as you know, as everyone listening knows,
he seems to do a different genre with every movie he makes.
Yeah.
And when he stepped into the horror genre and made 28 Days Later, much like all the other times that he steps into a genre, he also knocked that out of the park. Like 28 Days Later, we've mentioned it before, like that is just a pure for sure stress factory of a movie. Yeah. And I think he did it so well. And then there's Slumdog Millionaire, which I don't even like that genre of movie. And I dug Slumdog Millionaire.
It's great. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, you and I both love Near Dark.
Yes.
And, Bigelow didn't really do... I don't know if she really
she's
came
also
from
on my
like
list.
like a horror background at all.
Not really. Like, she did Point Break, and she did all these award winners recently.
Yeah.
And Strange Days, which I love.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, but it's true that none of these are horror.
Mm-hmm.
But Near Dark is perfect.
It's a really, really fantastic movie.
Yeah.
One that I was thinking of, and this is a little controversial. I didn't like Rosemary's Baby too hard.
Well, I never.
Seriously, yeah. I've heard that in order to like really find that movie scary, like you have to be a pregnant woman.
Okay.
Like I've sort of
fair enough. I like the movie, but I don't find it scary in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, I'm okay with that movie being like, if you want to call it a thriller or whatever. I don't know. It's
thriller.
Hairs
it's entertaining.
Point, yeah.
And I mean, everyone does a great job. I mean, if you have John Cassavetes hanging out on your set, you're bound to have a good movie on your hands in one way or another.
Something's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. There's also, who else did I jot down? Oh, yeah. So this one is a little controversial as well because it has horror elements and horrific things in it.
Right.
But I don't necessarily think it's a horror film. It's more of an art film, and it's Tony Scott's The Hunger, which is one of my favorite movies.
Right.
And he didn't make any other horror movies. Like let me not recant, but add that I fucking love Tony Scott movies.
Yes.
He is by far, I don't know, like his repertoire is maybe one of the most fun and entertaining string of films in movie history.
Which is so shit because his brother makes really dry, boring ass movies. The
elegant intellectual one, at least the way the audiences and critics behold Ridley Scott, like he's the smart intellectual one, and then Tony makes all the lowbrow garbage.
Dude, Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
That's one of the best revenge movies ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Tony Scott has made some of the best movies in the genres he's worked in.
Oh yeah.
Ever. Man on Fire, Deja Vu, I thought was a really kick-ass like science fiction action flick. Mm-hmm. The Hunger is one of my favorite mainstream art films. If that's a genre.
Fucking True Romance.
True Romance is incredible.
Did you say Days of Thunder, or did you say Days of Thunder?
No, Days of Thunder is maybe
Days
like the only acceptable race car movie. And even then, it's pushing it. But if I have to watch a race car movie, I'm going to make it Days of Thunder.
Pixar's Cars was pretty good. And then
it's true.
We'll save that for a different episode.
Yes. Yeah. Even Top Gun. I read somewhere, or maybe someone was giving an interview about Top Gun, and he was talking about like the critical the reaction to it, not at the time, but now how it's looked upon as just a complete, buffoonery of movie making, and he was talking about Tony Scott, and like, why would you make this super weird Hollywood commercial, almost sellout kind of thing that's just like patriotism turned into pure masturbation on with celluloid.
Yeah.
And he said that Tony Scott didn't see it that way at all. And in fact, it was more of the studio. I could be wrong about this, or he could be. The interviewee could be wrong. But the studio just kind of took all the footage and whipped it up and turned it into the Top Gun we know today. Tony Scott is said to have been making like a punk movie. Like he was pure punk on the set of that one. He's like, I don't give a shit about this kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, of course it's absurd and it's ridiculous. So yeah, we have a bunch of sweaty guys. Yeah, let's put them in their underwear then. And just completely making a mockery of everything. And then it just got polished up into this nice commercial film we have today.
I can't remember where I learned about this theory, but the conspiracy is that Top Gun was actually a propaganda tool to get homosexual men to join the military.
Really?
Seriously, like that's a
there's no lack of evidence if you re-edit the movie in the right way.
Yep.
Or even in the wrong way.
You
can just cut it up and
you just
tape
watch
it back together.
the movie. Yeah, that's basically it. But all of the vehicles, all of the military stuff was loaned to the studio
right.
by the U.S. military. I don't believe they had to pay for any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, take out the Kenny Loggins soundtrack and maybe mute the whole thing and just look at the images and how he shot it. One, it's beautiful because the guy knows how to work a camera and run a set.
Yeah.
And two, you can see this guy is just it's just bombastic, like all of his movies. But yeah, so
you don't have to convince me. Tony Scott's incredible. You don't. There's no convincing me. That's fine.
Right. And so The Hunger is my controversial one because, like I said, it's not quite horror, but it's still in the genre. But it's incredible. Yeah. For what it is, I love that movie. Yeah, Catherine Bigelow, Philip Kaufman is another one who fits on this list. He made the 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
And I love this movie as well. I think this is also it's a flawless movie. There's not a second I could take out of it or a second that I would put into it. Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it needs to be. And Philip Kaufman, he did The Right Stuff and a bunch of movies of that ilk.
Yeah.
He never really dipped back into horror. So yeah, those are my non-horror directors that did a pretty damn good job when they stepped into the arena.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think whenever you're sort of working in a new genre for the first or the third time, but maybe not in a way you ever sort of think about really hard. There's some you don't have to worry about following the rules too hard because you don't really know all of them.
Right.
One of mine, and it's just because I love this director so frickin' much, is Neil Jordan.
Yes.
With Interview with the Vampire. And say what you want to say about Interview with the Vampire, but Neil Jordan,
I love him.
Angel, The Crying Game, In Dreams,
and The Company of Wolves.
Yeah. Neil Jordan tells a great frickin' story, and
yes.
I don't know, Interview with the Vampire is flawed all over the place, but just the atmosphere that he actually creates in that movie is fantastic. Is just absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I think that's I think we've sort of covered all of the ones that I sort of feel like we need to cover. I've invented a new game.
Okay.
And I didn't have time to write a big boy theme song for this one. So I'll just take a page out of your book. But this one does have a theme song. Okay. And it goes da 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 da. You're welcome, Hollywood. All right. So here are the rules of the game.
Okay.
So I have prepared a number of movie titles. And what I'm going to need you to do is, after I give you the movie title, you need to pitch me
Okay.
the movie plot, and then I have to tell you whether I would, whether me, the studio, is going to purchase that movie or not.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start off. We're gonna start off a little slow. It was a little late last night when I was writing these, so some get a little fart jokey, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's true.
We're all grown ups. Okay.
Yeah.
So number 1, Zarnax.
Zarnax is a giant booger monster that came down from the moon, and now it needs to eat to get enough energy to go back home and save its children from
Cool.
incoming aliens.
Who's your star?
The star of this movie is Neil Patrick Harris.
I'll buy it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one. I'd buy that. Okay, all right. Ice Dancer Massacre.
Ice Dancer Massacre. This is the new Jason Reitman flick, and in this one, he's directing a cast of newcomers that have all been imported from Africa, and they all just going to be ice dancing their way through the massacre of.
No,
yeah.
that's
Really okay. I'm kind of unraveled on me.
Sort of, right. All right. Dr. Skeleton's Mystery Boners.
Oh, Dr. Skeleton's Mystery Boners. This is the new Alan Sorkin written movie.
Great.
And he did a really good job because he stepped out of the boundaries. This movie is about a doctor who invented a machine that turns him into marbles. And with his marbles, he's able to roll around and get into other people's coffins where he steals their skeleton bones to build a new wife.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
I would see the shit out of that movie. All right. Number 4, Fog Wolf.
Fog Wolf we're very excited about here, and we hope you are too. This movie is starring C. Thomas Howell. It's his big comeback, and it's all about a young boy who goes into the fog one night and then is attacked by the fog, and then it has to be saved by the love of a lonely werewolf who comes happening along that night, played by C. Thomas Howell, in a breakout role that you will not believe until you see it. It's very heartwarming. By the look on your face, I might have a painful call to give to C. Thomas.
We might pass on that one. When we got to the loving werewolf, I'm not so sure I knew what was going on. Okay, number 4, Storks.
Storks is the new movie starring Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing fame. And it's all about the endearing mission of a baby who is not let go of a stork and then learns to be one with his captors, one might say, or guardians, others might say. And so this baby is effectively turns into a mutant human stork hybrid.
So it's kind of like the Jungle Book, only it's storks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Jennifer Grey.
And Jennifer Grey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make that movie. I see no reason. Yeah. Okay, number 6, Wrong Password.
Wrong Password is all about a couple who start to deviate from their mundane, boring sex lives.
Right.
And when the husband forgets the safe word.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's
he must secretly, while in bondage, search for the right password into finding the right safe word while his wife is away and sharpening and buying new lubrications. And
so she's just going to kill him. She's just going to fuck him with a knife because he forgot the safe word.
Eventually,
the password.
If he doesn't get the password to the safe word, well, she's what I think we have to do a rewrite or two on this one.
Yeah,
still.
you know what? Let's.
This one isn't. We're still hammering this one into shape. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah. No, that's like we'll option the script, but we're gonna do rewrites.
Perfect.
That's for sure. All right.
Okay.
Infectious.
Infectious. That is a new high school teen romance.
Okay.
Where it's a high school full of mutant children, and they've all got incredible diseases that bring out jagged bones through their flesh. They didn't ask to be born this way. It's just the way they are. They were born this way.
Yeah,
jagged bones. Some have just a giant metal spike for an arm.
Sure.
This is all. It's just a high school of children who want to belong somewhere, but they never will because they're all freaks and they're horribly deformed in painful, awful ways. But the caring and sharing, it does infect the heart a little bit, even if their bodies are completely untouchable. See, it's like a little double entendre, a little double wordplay with infectious.
It's a feel-good story.
Yes.
And the moral is that if you look weird, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make that. Yeah, we'll make that. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
We already got Skeet Ulrich on the line for this one.
Yeah, I know.
As the principal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Day of the Bees.
Day of the Bees is about a young slacker named Dave, and he smokes some weird marijuana.
Right. That's hip.
Which suddenly explodes his consciousness until he can actually see through all the bees in the world. So Dave the Bees is actually Dave the Bees.
No, Day of the Bees, not Dave the Bees.
Okay, that's the sequel to Dave the Bees. I see. I had my assistant.
I don't think I was mumbling, but that's okay. Yeah. I think I need to shave. I think that's what's going on.
That's it. Okay, the sequel to Dave the Bees, Day of the Bees.
Day of the Bees. I will articulate more. Yes, I apologize. Yes, Day of the Bees. Although Dave of the Bees.
Dave of the Bees isn't
just
so bad.
Finish Dave of the Bees.
Okay.
That's
Dave of the
fine.
Bees, his consciousness goes into all the bees around the world.
Okay.
And he then has to collect and find and do all the things bees do, collecting all the pollen and then servicing the queen. And it's kind of like a what do you call it? Not a rom-com. It's one of these goofy comedies because he's a fish out of water kind of thing.
Yeah, he finds himself. He's every bee.
He's every bee.
Yeah.
But before this, he's just a stoner.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Hilarity ensues. Yeah.
And we can get Terrence Malick to direct this?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad my assistant got over that fact to you. Like Terrence Malick does the directing. We're thinking, I don't know, maybe we have Janusz Kaminski do the cinematography. So.
Okay. Number 9.
All right.
Hellivision.
Hellivision.
Yeah.
That is, speaking of sequels, that is a sequel to Adjust Your... No. What's the John Ritter?
I know. I was
epic?
thinking about that one. It was John Ritter and Jeffrey Jones.
Was that
thinking
Terrorvision?
Yeah. Actually, it's really funny. You were. I was thinking about that. I had that. I taped that off of the Super Channel.
Yeah. Right on.
But yeah.
So,
no.
yeah.
That was a. I think it was called like Channel 666 or something like that.
Really?
It was something to that effect.
You make weird titles for movies in Canada. I think in America it was something like Something Vision. Or
maybe it was Hellivision.
So Hellivision is the sequel to this, where we get Emilio Estevez to come in.
Yeah.
And he plays John Ritter's brother. And he inherits the remote control and whole, entertainment setup that John had. And, wackiness ensues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very straightforward revival.
Just the whole, sorry. I'm sorry if I'm
No.
distracted. I'm just trying to find out the name of this movie. I can't believe that I forgot. I saw this all. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's
is the name of the movie.
I saw this movie so many times as a kid.
It's so funny. I had Stay Tuned and Mom and Dad Save the World on the same tape.
That was the Jeffrey Jones movie, yeah.
Yeah, it was just Jeffrey Jones all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones was he was the devil basically in Stay Tuned. God, I want to watch this movie again. It was a good movie. It was actually a pretty good movie. I didn't mind it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Fucking Jeffrey Jones.
I know. Such a shame.
I don't. It's not a shame. Like, I mean, the dude was a. I mean, the dude was a sicko. Like, that's just really weird.
That's a shame for us, the audience, because
it was a shame.
I really
for
enjoyed
us.
watching him.
Yeah. All right. So, Hellovision is a sequel to Stay Tuned.
Yes.
Of course, we're gonna make that. It's a sequel.
Right on.
To a movie no one's ever heard of. Yeah. All right. Lance Cops.
Lance Cops.
Cops is with a Z.
Oh, okay.
All
Lance
right.
Cops with a Z.
So it's faster.
Right. Right. This is another fish out of water story where two knights of the Round Table are doing their thing like knights do back in old timey England.
No further explanation required.
Okay, but I have to anyway.
No, just doing what they're doing. Like, we don't need to know any more or less than that.
No.
They're just doing their thing.
Yeah, questing.
Whatever.
Other such knightly duties.
I literally don't want to know any more about what they do in a day.
And they come across a time portal. And so they go through the time portal. Boom. They're in San Francisco, 1978.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. And what do? They need to do something, so they become cops.
That's a TV series. I don't know if that's a movie, but that's definitely a
Okay.
TV series.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we talk to Netflix on this one.
Yeah, okay. All right. Next one. The Mermaid Premonitions.
The Mermaid Premonitions. This is a movie starring Cher. She's coming back for this one.
Good.
And it's a kind of like a sequel spin-off of a roundabout way, telling the backstory of some motivations from the original mermaids.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Cher is really just the narrator in this one. And she's telling us about the darker past of what was happening in the background with the here's and there's. I never saw Mermaids. I can't keep up this charade anymore.
No, we're just going to pass on that one.
But I can tell you that there is a young man who is killed by being grated to death along a coral reef.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make the short film
Okay.
of the man being murdered on coral, but we don't need to make a whole movie. Okay, Roller Ghoster.
Roller Ghoster. Roller Ghoster is a movie in which the ghost from the Boo Berry cereal box comes out. This is one of our cooperation films, which we're doing in partnership with some corporations. And in this case, it's General Mills.
Okay.
And we're trying to revitalize these products. And we brought the ghost from Boo Berry. And he comes off the box. What's he going to do in this world? No, not many people know who he is anymore. He's he's a relic of a bygone era. Right. And so to bring his street cred, as the children say these days.
Yeah, as you need as a serial ghost. That's important. It's important that people think you're cool.
Yes. He stumbles upon some magic rollerblades.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah.
You went sideways on this one.
Yes. And they're sold to him by
So in order to become cool,
yes, he's going to go rollerblading.
Yeah,
the magic rollerblade sold to him by the fine Chinese American actor who played Egg in Big Trouble in Little China. His name escapes me at the moment. But he kind of plays like a wacky mentor,
right?
Character. And so, yeah, Boo Berry, the ghost, is rollerblading through Santa Barbara, trying to impress the kids, and gets caught up into a competition for, to save the roller rink. And so, yeah, and he does indeed save the roller rink.
Okay,
and
great.
Yeah.
All right.
And to celebrate, they eat copious amounts of Boo Berry cereal.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're launching Boo Berry again. I'm gonna because I get to be the studio. I'm passing on no reason. I'm totally down for a rollerblade.
Are you sure?
I'm totally down for a rollerblading ghost. But
we have a great cliffhanger ending for this one, which could spark an entire line of movies with Count Chocula and the Frankenberry character.
I don't want anything to do with any of that. I think that's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's a franchise. It's a tentpole franchise, as they say. If you want to skip out on those.
Yeah, I think because this is pretend, and I get to be the studio on this. I don't want to see that movie. I don't want to see that. Right now, the most excited. I am most excited about Dr. Skeleton's Mystery Boners.
Okay.
And Dave of the Bees. And Lance Cops are my favorites right now. Okay, so next one, The Snuggler.
The Snuggler. This is the new Roland Emmerich movie that's coming. That we have it all lined up.
Oh God. Okay.
The Snuggler is Roland Emmerich's version. It's his vision of a slice of life movie, in which a middle-aged woman who is frazzled beyond compare. She's juggling 2 jobs, a family, all the wifely duties that a woman might have in the Midwest.
Sure.
Yeah. And she comes upon a magic book. And wait, it's not a magic book. It's a magic
No.
Shit.
No. All right. Nope. That's it.
Fuck.
That's enough of that.
Okay.
All right. Murderousness.
All right, this is about a magic book. No, this isn't a magic book. It's just everything devolves into a magic book.
And then we're gonna use this to sell. I don't know. Yeah, murderousness. It stars Toucan Sam's nephews or whatever. The little toucans that were only there for a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Murderousness, the epic story of Sugar Bear and that guard that was always trying to catch him.
That's perfect. It's like you read my liner notes already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we have Stacy Keach all lined up to be in this one.
Great.
And it's gonna be pretty impressive.
That's all you told me. So that's I'm murderousness. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, Stacy Keach and whatever you think is best.
Yep. All right. Yeah. All right. The Shed.
The Shed. The Shed is the new Jeff Daniels movie that's going to be penned by, I think it was in the hands of Brent Easton Ellis.
Okay.
But now it's been sent to the script doctor, Kevin Smith, as we talked about before. He's polishing up Brett's script. And yeah, it's a small town, and it's just one shed. It's a story of the smallest town.
Yeah, it's as small as you can go.
Yes, yeah. It's just one shed, and the community that fights to stay together, to live in it alone with solidarity with each other. You're welcome, Hollywood.
Yeah, you know what? Let's make it. Let's make it. All right. We're going to skip Return of the Snuggler because we passed on the Snuggler once it got all returned to Oz. All right. The last one, Old Clown Shoes.
Old Clown Shoes. In this one, we use state-of-the-art technology to make a CGI George Burns. You're going to be shocked. You're going to think that he never died 100 years ago.
Okay. We'll do it.
Okay. Okay.
You want to resurrect George Burns? Fine.
Yes.
I'm good with that. I
Awesome.
like that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You're welcome, Hollywood. There you go.
You're welcome, Hollywood.
You did good. You did good.
Thanks.
So you got
Thank you.
Zarkax, which is about
Yeah.
a booger from the moon. Dr. Skeleton's Mystery Boners, which is about a mad scientist that can transform into marbles. Storks, which is like the Jungle Book, only with just storks.
Yeah.
Infectious. Oh, sorry, Wrong Password. We're going to work on Wrong Password.
That one needs some help.
Yeah. Infectious is about the high school full of mutants, but not like cool mutants like X-Men,
No.
like actual like abominations.
Yeah, like real abominations.
Yeah.
With hearts of gold that need attention.
Mm-hmm. But they're not getting any because they're hideous. Yeah.
Completely hideous.
Dave
They throw up in fear whenever they go into school and see their classmates.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Dave of the Bees.
Dave of the Bees
is about one man who is every bee. Television is the sequel to Stay Tuned. I'm okay with that. Lance Cops. It's a better television series. I'm excited for that television series. Murderousness. That was one of the recent ones. I can't even remember.
Oh, yeah. That was Stacy Keach and whatever you wanted to be.
You just told me it was good to go. Yeah. Yeah, Murderousness. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
All right. Cool. Next.
Next green light, please.
Yeah. The Shed is the new Jeff Daniels vehicle about an entire community living in a shed.
But it's a normal size shed.
It's just a normal
shed.
Yeah. And then Old Clown Sleeves. We're just going to CGI George Burns. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, good job. Good job.
I did better than I thought when you say it all in a string.
No, you did really good. You did really, really good. You went sideways on literally every single one of these. But yeah, no, it looks great. Looks great. You're welcome, Hollywood.
Yes, you're welcome, Hollywood.
All right, so I guess real quick, let's talk about some horror directors who
went sideways on us.
Yeah, went sideways on us, and either tried, either just stepped out of their comfort zone, just did something different, or in a couple of cases, a few big ones that I can think of.
Yeah,
horror directors who just like made it to the freaking big time.
Right.
The biggest one, obviously, is Steven Spielberg.
Him. I have a lot to say about this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after doing Duel and Jaws,
it
was over. He was just doing whatever.
Yeah. For me, in my opinion, Steven Spielberg is I've had a beef with Steven Spielberg for a while. Insofar that he is he's a horror director. He's a horror storyteller. Mm-hmm. Like this guy, I feel like this is what he is. I feel like he is a horror director. Yeah. But he constantly and consistently denies his horrorness, like his true nature. He denies his true nature because The Duel, super stressful. That's a horror movie. Jaws, obviously a horror movie. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the best parts of all of his movies, it's the horror parts. Jurassic Park, I don't care for Jurassic Park so much, but when the velociraptors are hunting the children in the kitchen, that's fucking stressful.
No, it is.
You look at I mean, I had to write it down because there was too much coming into my head when I thought of Steven Spielberg. he's not he's not a family director or a drama director. He's a horror director.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Minority Report. The best parts of this movie are just horror. War of the World, his War of the Worlds remake. There were a few the moments where it sucked were the moments where I feel like he tried to put in the family hook, you know?
Yeah.
And it just got like Hollywood kitsch. But the really good parts, like it looked amazing. It looked stark and scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's good. E.T., the very beginning of E.T., that's a horror movie.
No,
When
when
the ball comes rolling out of the shed, that's horror. And if you look at all the things he produced, Poltergeist, one of the best horror movies. The series Taken, terrifying.
Well, he actually, he like mentored. It was almost like he mentored Tobe Hooper. For a couple of years there. Like, I think he handpicked Tobe Hooper to direct Poltergeist.
Totally. And you can see Poltergeist has Steven Spielberg's fingerprints all over it.
Absolutely.
I mean, with it just everything about it. And I think it's a perfect movie because of that collaboration. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's crazy. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
The best parts of that, horror. The Twilight Zone movie, he did a segment in that.
Yeah.
He produced Gremlins, horror. Mm-hmm. It's Super 8 he produced. The best parts of that are horror.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he produced Super 8. Yeah.
I dug that movie.
He produced a lot of weird movies around that time. I know he also...
AI, that's like future science fiction horror. The guy, Arachnophobia he produced.
Yeah.
This guy, it's just, he can't stop with the horror, but he can't stop, tripping over his own shadow to make it a family movie as well. Yeah. I wish he would just stop with that and just say, okay, I'm Steven Spielberg. I've got the juice to do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah. I'm going to make a goddamn horror movie.
You know what? I don't know. A lot of people shit on Spielberg for being too, Hollywood centric or however you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Dude tells really good stories. Mm-hmm. His resume, like every resume has a bunch of like weird crap on there for sure. Mm-hmm. But all in all, the dude tells really, really great stories, and he's a really great storyteller. Totally. Sorry. He tells really great stories, and just like visually is what I mean. He's a really great storyteller. Yeah. Like he knows what he's doing. Like he's really good. And the Hollywood schmaltz thing works a lot for me anyways. The only couple I really didn't like from him were I fucking hate Hook. Like I just really do not like that movie.
There's nothing about that I really enjoy.
No.
It's sorry about that. Well, with the Hollywood schmaltz, even with that, it's true what you say. Like he's good at his job. With the Hollywood schmaltz, he can manipulate an audience like a pro. Like he can play an audience like a fiddle when it comes to the Hollywood. The Hollywood schmaltz. It's really the best way to put it. The Hollywood schmaltz. It's just pure manipulation. Yeah. That he goes right for the throat when it comes to that. When he's not doing horror, then it's either horror or it's this manipulation, and he's good at it. I just wish he would stick with the horror. Just for me, personally, like this, it's a very selfish request.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at everything he does, and. Like I know, and I respect Lloyd Kaufman's seething hatred of Spielberg, but it's just for me, I'm an audience member, I guess. I watch a movie to be manipulated in a way, and
I need to word this very, very carefully because I have nothing but respect and adoration for Lloyd Kaufman.
Totally.
The Trauma movies, just even as a catalog, like the Trauma movies made, by Trauma, period.
Yeah.
They lack
a certain finesse.
And sorry, I was going to say, and deliberately so.
Yes.
But they lack taste.
Okay.
And sometimes that works really, really well for them. Yeah. And sometimes that absolutely works against them. Like, I thought that Romeo and Juliet was actually a really bitchin' movie.
I agree. Like, Romeo and Juliet is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, just until there was a fat girl slapping her face like Macaulay Culkin and crossing her eyes for some freaking reason. Like, near the end of the movie. I mean, we've all seen Toxic Avenger. We've all seen Sergeant Kabuki Man. Like, we've all seen these Troma movies.
Yeah.
And I really, really think that Troma really could have made a bitchin', like, almost like art film with Romeo and Juliet. But it just sort of seemed the last 25 minutes of the movie, they just decide to ruin it for no reason.
Oh, Lloyd can't help himself sometimes.
I know, and
that's what I feel like. That's what it is. Like, he just can't hold back enough. He's almost the antithesis of Steven Spielberg.
Sure, I just like, being such a giant fan of that studio and the movies that they came out with, and like just even being a big Shakespeare fan. Like, I really, really liked the way that they did Romeo and Juliet. Like, it was horrific. Like, there was, I don't know, they included a lot of, like, just almost like it was almost like in addition to just being Romeo and Juliet, they included all the whole, like, teenage sort of neuroses where, like, I'm not sure about this, like, I'm
totally,
like
James Gunn's script for Romeo and Juliet is just it's almost flawless. I mean, it's a fantastic thing he created. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, and I want to talk about James Gunn in a minute, but I would just to end on Kaufman there. Like, I get what he's doing, and like I really respect the fact that he has, like, a plan and he just keeps sticking with it. I was once copied on an email that was sent to Kaufman there, and it was actually one of the highlights of my career. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a similar story. I'll tell you in a moment.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's allowed to criticize Spielberg because, like, as far as just taste is concerned, I feel like they're both guilty of the same thing, albeit on either end of the spectrum.
Agreed. I think I'm glad you said that. That's the phrasing I was looking for. That they're really, that's true. Like, they're both, it's the same crime, just on different ends of the spectrum.
Exactly. But yeah, sorry. Anyways, and I think this is, I mean, speaking of Troma and how deliberately tasteless, they can be from time to time, and how it's just pure, almost like DIY, like punk rock kind of entertainment.
Totally.
James Gunn.
He's one of my
comes
faves.
out of nowhere and directs Guardians of the Galaxy, like writes and directs Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
not my favorite.
I love his work.
Yeah,
and he wrote Romeo and Juliet, and then he I don't know if you ever read this book, but if you haven't, it's incredible. It's he co-wrote the book. All I Need to Know About Filmmaking, I Learned from the Toxic Avenger. He co-wrote it with Lloyd Kaufman. And this book was like my film school for when I first got the book. And I read it so many times. I highlighted the hell out of so many things. This book is a really good book. Yeah. But yeah, and then he does Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. And I have not seen them. Not so much because it's Scooby-Doo or it's Sarah Michelle Gellar or anything like that. Like, that's all fine and good. I just can't stand Hanna-Barbera. Well, and I know it's not animated.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Direct all of your hate mail and everything to bighumandead@gmail.com.
No. No, yeah. I don't hate it. Hanna-Barbera is incredible.
Whoa.
What are you talking about?
Okay, send all the rest of you, send your hate mail to bighumandead@gmail.com. All of us who are enlightened enough to realize that Hanna-Barbera is maybe one of the worst animation studios in the whole universe.
You know what's? I was reading. Sorry, speaking of Hanna-Barbera, one of the most interesting things I read and whatever. But so Hanna-Barbera was one of the first studios. Like the reason why they were able to put themselves on the map is that they were able to release a cartoon like every week.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like it would sometimes take months to finish a cartoon. And not only did Hanna-Barbera sort of invent single-cell animation, but the way that they were able to get around having all of these characters, speaking and emoting and whatever it is, every single character in a Hanna-Barbera cartoon wears a collar. Whether it's a collar with a necktie, or whether it's like a necklace, or a string of pearls, or like a dog collar, or whatever it is. And the way that they were able to get around, like the reason they were able to release a cartoon every week is that they only had to animate the head.
Oh my goodness, you can hardly tell the drop in quality.
Wacky Races is a great show. Wacky Races is one of the best goddamn
Wacky
cartoons.
Races has its moments.
Wacky Races is incredible.
But I mean, if you're gonna
Yogi Bear, Jetsons, Flintstones, you're crazy. You're just crazy.
Wacky Races,
crazy.
I will give you Wacky Races. But I mean, if I close my eyes and shoot a machine gun just blindly around me, one of those bullets is going to hit a target, and Wacky Races is that bullet. I'm sorry that you had to find out like this.
Hanna-Barbera.
It's really awful that you had to find out on the air like this.
All right, anyways, moving on. And by the way, you already know how Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 ended, because it was just the old creepy old man, I guess. I haven't seen them either. I just assume that that's how those movies end.
Yeah, but James Gunn, like he's so good, and he made one of my favorite superhero movies ever, Super. Did you see this?
I did. That was a great freaking movie. Yeah.
I was excited for it when it came out, and I was really afraid, like, my expectations are getting blown way out of proportion. And then I saw it, and it was still way better than I expected. Like I expected it to be the end-all be-all of superhero movies, and it was that and more. I fucking love this movie. And then, Guardians of the Galaxy fits so perfect in the whole Marvel superhero madness that we're in the middle of. Yeah. And
it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite of those.
No,
it wasn't my favorite of those. No.
All right.
But still, when I was reading about James Gunn afterwards, because I guess I had accidentally seen everything he had done before, and it turns out that I was a fan of his.
Yeah. And his script for Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I know.
Tight.
And and then Guardians of the Galaxy. I saw whatever. Right, and I go and I look him up. I'm like, holy shit! One. And Lloyd Kaufman was an extra in the prison.
Yeah, he was in the prison.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when I was in the theater, not knowing that James Gunn came from trauma heritage, and just being like, is that?
It's crazy, right?
Fucking Lloyd Kaufman? I don't understand.
Yeah. And Slither as well. He did Slither, which is, this guy just can't do any wrong.
No, I know. He's really good.
Yeah. So what other directors do you have in mind that are what is it, horror directors that stepped out and did something non-horror? Now that we've given our essay, our dissertation about Spielberg.
I think that it's fair to say, David Lynch.
He's on my list too, yeah.
He moved on for sure. I mean, I don't mean to say move on like it was a bad thing, but I think that, the last couple of films that he's done have been more sort of horrific, but in the 80s there, Wild at Heart, which is arguably the best David Lynch movie.
I love that one.
He, wasn't super duper horror-y,
No, not at all.
And now he just makes he's just become David Lynch knowingly just makes David Lynch movies now, which I don't think is all that fair. I like David Lynch when he was actually trying to do stuff, and
I don't know. I haven't seen anything from him lately.
Dude, the Inland Empire.
I like this one. I liked it not as a movie, but I liked it more as an experiment. Like this is a
well, that's all it was. That's all it was. It was like I think it was Italy gave him a bunch of money to just be like, hey, you want to make a movie? And David Lynch is like, yeah, all right, whatever. And so like he just like said, hey, Laura Dern, just come with me. We're gonna go make a movie. And they went to Italy, and he just showed up every day with
just
some
called
like,
up all his old buddies.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. No, I like David Lynch, sort of like late 80s, early 90s, where like he's still trying to just like crack through, like that weird niche that everyone decided to put him in. He's just trying so hard to get out of there. Yeah,
I think that's a good way you put it as well. I think that's another reason why I like Inland Empires, because it was really, I think it's really the viewers that kind of put this niche on him.
Yeah.
And he never even, maybe he did at some point, but just from interviews and things like that, he always called himself more of a painter that just happens to use film rather than
absolutely
a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And obviously he's made films and he's tried to make not real, it's shitty to say.
No, he's tried to tell a narrative. Like he's tried to tell like a real live... he's tried to tell like a real live story through his, with a script and with his shots and all of that. Like he's absolutely tried to do that.
Yeah, and so he tried to make a real movie, not a real movie, but like a normal movie. And
sorry, no, I know what you mean, because like, I mean, it's most obvious in Eraserhead, where it's just like he's just riffing on a theme again and again and again, and all of his short films he's just riffing on a theme again and again, and arguably even in Dune he's just riffing on a theme. But it wasn't until sort of the 80s picked up and he did Twin Peaks and he did Wild at Heart and even Blue Velvet, like he was telling a story with like a script, like he was making a big boy movie. Yeah. And his big boy movies like Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, that stuff was the best. It was the best that David Lynch did.
It's really great. Yeah. Also, I think who else? Like George Romero. I think it's safe to say that this one it's a little controversial in that it's not really a step outside of the boundaries for George. Yeah. But Knight Riders. Did you ever see that?
Yeah. No.
It's not horror by any means, whereas all of his other movies are horror.
No.
But Knight Riders, I like this movie. I think it's super fun. But I think it's a different breed. Like this is George making an action movie.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Because the next guy that I was going to say was Sam Raimi.
Yeah, with Simple Plan? Or Quick and Dead?
Simple Plan, which is a great...
This is such a good drama.
Movie. Yeah. But after... like even Army of Darkness is sort of on the... Like I'd be hesitant to call that a horror movie. But yeah, within the first couple of films he did... I think he did... The Woods, Evil Dead 1, 2, and then once they had the money, they made Maniac Cop, right? Which was it's not that.
But he didn't direct that. Who directed that one?
I thought it was Sam Raimi that directed Maniac Cop.
I don't think so. I think that's I think that was what's his name? It's
William Lutzig.
Yeah, William Lutzig. Yeah, the same guy.
I could have sworn. Okay.
He also did Maniac. He was a big Maniac fan.
Yeah, I could have sworn. I feel like an idiot. Cool. I got to do this once. Every frickin' thing. Anyways, sorry. I really could have sworn that Sam Raimi had, and it's not just Bruce Campbell. I thought. Yeah. I think he has something to do with this. Were you thinking of Crime Wave? Well, it's possible.
Like Bruce Campbell is in Maniac Cop.
No, he is in Maniac Cop for sure.
But then they also did Crime Wave together, which was the Raimis and the Coen brothers and Bruce Campbell. Yeah, that's right. It's around the same time. Bruce also plays a cop, but it's also just a really bad, boring comedy.
Yeah. No, but sorry. But even after all of that, you know,
Yeah.
frickin', you know, he was doing like The Gift, which I guess was sort of horror-y, but then
It
he
was
did
a little horror-ish. Yeah.
he did the Spider-Man movies, and
Oh right, he did the Spider-Man movies.
yeah,
I forgot
like,
about
like
those.
a simple plan is a great
I love that one.
great movie.
Yeah. Quick and the Dead, I think, is a really good
Yeah.
Western.
It is.
The Spider-Man movies, I'm mental for comic books, as you know.
Yeah.
But I just don't really dig the Spider-Man movies. Something about them. I just couldn't. Yeah.
My favorite Spider-Man movie was Spider-Man 3. And here's the reason.
Okay.
Because prior to Spider-Man 3,
That's a bold statement.
there was all sorts of shit in the news about how Sam Raimi didn't want to do any more Spider-Man movies, but he was under contract, so he had to.
Yeah.
How Tobey Maguire was having some back problems, and he didn't want to do any more Spider-Man movies, but they made him because he was under contract and he had to.
Right.
And how Kirsten Dunst hated Tobey Maguire. Really didn't want to do any more Spider-Man movies, but because she was under contract, they made her, so she had to. And so what you have is this force of like the director, lead actor, and leading lady absolutely not wanting to make this movie, and it's almost like they went out of their way to make the worst goddamn movie they possibly could, just so fans would not want anything. It's brilliant. It's so incredible.
I don't know. I don't know about this. I see what you mean, but I think there's a way to do that and a way not to do that. And Coppola and company did it really well for Godfather 3, if the rumors are to be believed, that they didn't really want to do this movie. And so they just made it so whacked, and they took all these elements from Mario Puzo's book that were just not allowed by the studio for the first one and the second one. And they just made this weird movie. It's mostly flashback, and there's all this crazy shit going down. And because they didn't want to do it, and now I think they did it right, because I don't know why everyone shits on Godfather 3. I like that movie.
Godfather 3 is possibly one of like in the top 3 worst films ever made. Godfather 3
entertaining.
Is terrible.
I'm so entertained by Godfather 3. I can't explain. I love it.
The story behind Godfather 3, you're kind of half right.
Okay.
Where like after the debacle that was Apocalypse Now, the studio said to Coppola, "It's like, look, you're gonna have to make at least one other Godfather movie." You realize it's like, okay, all right. And then he made like a bunch of wicked movies. But yeah, then he turned around and he made Godfather 3. The story behind Godfather 3 and why it turned out to be this weird, like almost like an episode of Family Guy, where it's just all told in like flashbacks and vignettes and all this crazy shit, is that the reason why Godfather 3 was even, one was even filmed was because the studio, after, the debacle, the beautiful debacle that was Apocalypse Now, said to Coppola, like, look, like you're gonna have to make another Godfather movie. Like Coppola spent a lot of years paying back the studio for that, and kind of did whatever. But the reason why Godfather 3 was essentially almost an episode of Family Guy, where there was all just told in like flashbacks and whatever cutaways, whatever, is because the script initially revolved around Robert Duvall.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the lawyer, I think it was Mike something. I haven't watched those movies in the longest time, but the script revolved around him. And then while they were doing negotiations and stuff like that, Robert Duvall found out how much Al Pacino was making.
Okay.
And Robert Duvall had something like, I don't know, like, I'm just throwing a number, but probably like 15, 20 more scenes than Al Pacino did. Okay. And Al Pacino was making, X amount more than Robert Duvall was.
Right.
So Duvall was like, hey, do you want to maybe pay me for the amount of work that I'm going to be doing on this movie?
Right.
Like, I'm, I might not be Pacino, but I'm Robert fucking Duvall. Like, I think I'm allowed to make some money. And the studio was like, I don't know if we're going to pay you to do this. And I guess there was this back and forth between a bunch of people, and then finally Duvall was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And he walked away. And so that's why this movie was like this weird, just like old man Michael Corleone just being weird. Yeah. But yeah, that's the story. And like I hate Godfather 3, but I would love to see the actual Godfather 3 where it's, Robert Duvall is doing some shit. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Cool. Another honorable mention, I think, is Peter Jackson, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
Like, and I think that's sort of self-explanatory.
Totally. Like he's pure for sure horror director who somehow just broke into the big time.
And like I really
love him.
Sorry, no, I just had a brain fart because I was about to make an ass of myself again. Who directed The Frighteners? Was that Zemeckis or was that
was Peter Jackson.
It was
Peter Jackson. That was one of his early Hollywood gigs.
Yeah, I know, because I fucking love The Frighteners. That's a great, great movie.
Yeah. I love Peter Jackson's stuff.
Zemeckis produced that then. I'm not out of control.
It seems like a Zemeckis produced thing.
I'm going to make an ass out of myself again. ENERS.
Yeah. And like Brain Dead, a.k.a. Dead Alive, and Bad Taste, these two movies were seen so many times by me. I love these two movies. I love and Beautiful Creatures.
Beautiful Creatures. Actually,
incredible.
I did not like Bad Taste.
No, I love Bad Taste.
I liked Meet the Feebles.
I did not like Meet the Feebles.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Meet the Feebles was awesome.
Really? I liked the puppets and the puppetry, but I felt like the humor was just, I felt like they were just trying so hard to hit the bottom.
Yeah. No, and that's what that's what Bad Taste was.
But in Bad Taste, I feel like they weren't trying so hard. It's just that they ended up on the floor anyway with the humor. And so it seemed a little more, there was more of an innocence to how lowbrow the humor was.
Yeah. But yeah, Zemeckis has made a lot of really goddamn good movies.
It's true. Like lately, or like some of his, I don't know if lately. I don't know. He seems to, I feel like he's let me him and haw about this guy and start a few more fragmented sentences.
Okay.
Zemeckis has a similar syndrome as Spielberg, in that he is a director who naturally can make not a raunchy comedy, but like he can tell a rough story, and he can do it really fun and really well, but he seems to hold himself back to do more Hollywood fare, Hollywood schmaltz. And I wish, for my own selfish, viewing pleasure, he would just let go and do more of the rougher stuff. Like, what was the movie with Kurt Russell? Was it Real Men? No. Used Cars. Used Cars is one of my favorite comedies ever.
Okay.
And this is incredible. And I mean, even Castaway. I like Castaway. This is a rough story, and he tells it very nice in a polished Hollywood way, but I think he does it really perfectly in this one. But then things like Polar Express and his computer animated movies, I just cannot get into them. Man, maybe that's just where he is nowadays. In his head.
You know what? Zemeckis is always going to be like up there for me because he was one of the driving forces behind the Tales from the Crypt television series.
Okay, yeah,
which
fair
is like I cannot stress enough how fantastic that entire series was. Like, you know, like
right on. And he has the Back to the Future series under his belt.
Yeah, but
I mean, he's done his due for society.
Oh no,
he
for
doesn't,
sure. Yeah,
he doesn't need to make the kind of movies I want to see him make anymore, and neither does Spielberg. They can both tell me to fuck off, but yeah.
I would say, sorry, getting back to Peter Jackson real fast. I would say objectively, like the best sort of like, I don't know, balance between his telling sort of like, you know, these kind of like almost perverse kind of raw stories, and then, you know, really great storytelling, kind of like very palatable, I guess, is Heavenly Creatures.
Right.
Like, Heavenly Creatures is a great balance between, I don't know, Jackson just loving to tell, just, I don't know, just loving to gross you out. Like, Jackson just loves to gross you out. Like, not in a shitty Cronenberg kind of a way, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, he loves to gross you out in every single one of his movies. But Heavenly Creatures is just a goddamn great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think we've this was
we exhausted the hell out of these directors.
This was a crazy episode.
Yeah.
Lots of internet problems, but it should be good. Mm-hmm. We should be good. We should be good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I said we were going to talk about Waterloo a little bit more. Why don't we we'll just put a pin in that. We can maybe next episode we can devote some more time to that. I know Rob's slowly but surely trying to interview me on how I came to everything. So maybe we can do some more of that next time. But
right on.
Go to Dysomnia.com and you can just check out like a shit ton of Rob's work, and I think that's probably.
And there's even some pages from Waterloo on there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you just tell us what you think about these directors and your own fave horror directors and non-horror directors, and you can leave it in the comments, or you can tweet it to us at WaterlooGN, or hit us at the email at bighumandead@gmail.com.
Yeah, and like and not just your favorite directors, but like your your favorite your favorite movies, your favorite horror movies directed by guys that don't typically direct horror movies, and then vice versa. Like it's more than possible that we missed a few. So
I'm sure.
So yeah, no, let us know. I'm really loving the dialogue that we're having with a lot of you guys. I think that's really cool. So
totally.
So let's keep that up for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Rob.
Good night, buddy.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Right on. We did it. We got through it.